For March the 3rd, 2017, we talk about Berserk and the Band of the Hawk, Microsoft Game Pass, and we ask you what game you would make in a hypothetical DuckJam. Welcome to level 186. My name is Kole Ross.
My name's David Maysmith.
I'm Jala Prendes.
And I'm Ben Merkel.
And you're listening to The Level. It's a podcast for people who love video games. Leading up at the top here, we were not sure when we were going to release it, so we had to be real vague last week. But you can now buy the Diggity Duck bundle. We have we have 12 special episodes, 10 hours of content, 3 great causes, and there is a bonus level about Machinarium tucked away in there. Yeah. I really liked all the stuff. So like that, I thought that Machinarium episode was pretty fun. So I hope people like it.
I listened to most of the things already because, of course, I bought it because it's for charity.
Right.
And, you know, and also during that episode, it was mentioned that I have mammoth sunflowers. And guess what? Mm-hmm. I have planted more Russian mammoth sunflowers.
The new brood.
The new brood. Yeah. So...
See, I feel like, aren't those something that just takes over?
Well, they grow about 12 feet tall if you leave them alone.
Yeah, they can physically overpower you.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, like Invasion of the Body Snatchers?
Yeah,
well,
in a brisk enough wind, they will fall over on top of you. IKEA got sued for that.
Well, the head of the sunflower can get somewhere between 2 and 3 feet wide. Ugh. So these suckers are huge. But the thing is that where I have them, I don't know if they like it or not. But there's like a limited amount of fence available because my dad happens to have a grapevine growing on the fence that gets the most sun in the yard, and I don't want it to just like. Well, I don't want to like plant it, 5 feet away and still have to deal with the roots. I don't know where the roots are,
Yeah.
So,
So logistics.
Yeah, but also I'm so excited because Torment Tides of Numenera is out.
Yeah.
And I downloaded it. I have it all ready and waiting for me to play. I just have to have time to play it, but I want to play it so much.
That's like Neverwinter style?
It's a CRPG. It's an Obsidian RPG that is a follow up or a spiritual successor to Planescape Torment.
Okay.
Yeah, I almost bought it twice because I saw a splash screen on GOG and I was like, oh, that's coming out great. I was like, wait a minute, did I back that on Kickstarter 4 years ago? And I went and looked and I was like, yeah, I totally did. I just don't get Kickstarter emails because people abuse that privilege. Said the person who runs a Patreon. So I was kind of like, oh, that's kind of a nice surprise. I've got this game and I've already paid for it. So it is a gift from past Kole to present Kole.
That was my boat too. I also backed the Kickstarter, so I have that waiting for me because of that.
See, I've been debating hopping on. Apparently, there's a new River City Rampage game.
Yeah, it's like River City Ransom Deluxe or something like that. That's I saw a review for it. It got reviewed pretty well.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've actually never played one of them, but they always looked like a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. They're good. Just avoid the Game Boy Advance one because the economy in that is fuckified. Yeah. Yeah, it's they messed it up real bad. Yeah. So. I forget how we got there from the Duck bundle, but go check that out. It's at Duckfeed.tv/store. Really proud of that, and the response has been pretty great so far. Anybody have any anecdotes from the past week or so?
I already told you my anecdotes. I planted sunflowers. Also, yes. I also had a conversation with a duck today on the trail. It was very, very Duckfeed-ish. So I put it on my Instagram where I'm Jala-chan because I'm Jala-chan in places. You can also find it on my Twitter because I'm also Jala-chan there because I'm Jala-chan in places. And it's also on Facebook, same thing. So you can find me and you can find the duck. And then you can see the duck. It's only 16 minutes of a video, but there's a video where I talk to a duck. The end.
did something happen at the Oscars or the Grammys or the Globes or something?
I'm so tired of this.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
They announced the wrong name for Best Picture.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's horrible.
There were like,
That's kind of a bad idea.
yeah, there were like two speeches, two acceptance speeches that got all the way through before they're like, haha, just kidding. Like literally, somebody said, just kidding, Moonlight won. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was, yeah.
And then at the Grammys, they voted Adele for Best Album, and then she like said that it should be Beyonce. So it's like it's happened twice now.
I wonder how Beyonce
And
feels.
Kanye wasn't even involved.
I wonder how Beyonce feels about her slowly just becoming this person who gets awards via proxy. Yeah. I don't know. Ben, you done anything cool?
No.
No?
I started playing Magic the Gathering, so maybe I'll talk about that more in Grind, maybe.
Yeah.
But I never played that before, so that's been interesting doing that. So
Nice. What color are you going with?
I'm red and blue with a splash of white.
Nice.
That's the lingo.
Really? A splash?
Yeah. You have
Huh.
a splash of a color, you know.
Yeah, just a smidge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, it feels like we've done a good amount of banter. I see no reason why we shouldn't go into the main body of the show.
Yay!
Approximately one hen worth of banting.
Yeah. Jeez. So we've got the usual kind of show for you, the brief, the multiplayer, and the grind. And we're going to get started with the brief, where we talk about things that are happening in the world of video games, which happens to currently be around us. Jala, I want to hear the story that you have brought, because this seems weird, and I figured somebody would bring it.
Yeah, I was looking for something else to do, but then I was like, no, this one is like, it needs to be talked about, so I should just go ahead and bring it. Microsoft has unveiled a $9.99 a month Game Pass subscription, which is a game download service similar to EA Access that allows owners the ability to download over 100 Xbox One and backwards compatible games. Examples of the kinds of games that are in this thing from the official announcement include Halo 5, Payday 2, NBA 2K16, and Soul Calibur 2. The way it works is subscribers download and play as if they bought the game digitally, and then they're given 20% off games and 10% off add-ons if they wish to purchase the games and add them permanently to their library. So it's like, I guess you pay $9.99 to download whatever you want and then test it for the month, and then you have to like buy it, but you get a discount for buying it. It rolls out to Xbox insiders as of today, the day that we record, which is Tuesday, and then will launch exclusively to Xbox Live Gold subscribers next, and then finally will go live for everybody with an Xbox One sometime this spring, but I don't think there was a date involved in that yet.
Does Xbox have a large enough stable of games to make this compelling? I feel like don't they kind of sell on Halo and Gears of War, which probably the people that care already have them all?
Well, I mean, the Xbox One already gets a ton of like Universal games, or just games that come across to everybody. Like
Sure.
things that are not exclusive. I forget the actual word that people use for that. But they also have just a tremendous amount of backward compatibility. They kind of lead that charge right now, so I imagine that they're able to kind of pad that out with some kind of legacy titles from the 360.
I actually have a friend who's on the back compat team at Microsoft, but he talks about how people like go crazy when they make a Halo from a previous console like available on the new console.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, that and Gears of War are literally the only notable like Xbox games I can think of.
Yeah. But I mean, just if you decided to go with an Xbox One as opposed to a PS4, a good deal of the games that are available for both are available for both.
I suppose that's true.
Yeah. So I can see this. So this seems kind of crazy. This makes me feel like Ben as regards the PlayStation Plus program, because okay, $10 a month. Does the stock refresh every month, or are they asking you to like, hey, it'd be a shame if anything happened to your NBA 2K16. Why don't you pay us that $20?
It kind of sounds like to me, at least like I would think they would rotate out at least part of it.
Yeah.
Like they can't keep the same games. If they kept the same games in there all the time, then you wouldn't ever need to buy them because you have them via the subscription. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Although
that
that's
wouldn't
the way
make
EA
sense.
does it.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of tougher because I feel like Netflix is successful because it's something that's kind of small and bite-sized and you can sit down for like half an hour or an hour or so. I don't know if you can do the same thing with games or not, because like you need to have like a 20-hour investment depending upon the game maybe, or maybe it's only 8 hours or something if it's a smaller game. If they have indie games, then it might work. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I envy your willpower that you can sit down at Netflix for like a half hour or so.
Yeah,
a good deal of the stuff on Netflix is consumable in 20 to 30 minute chunks. Like that is the unit cost. It's up to you if you decide to do another one. David. No, I have the same problem. So for as much as I'm like poking holes in this, that is not my intention. If I had a 360, I would totally hop on board in this at least for a couple months.
That seems pretty cool.
A 360, huh?
Yeah, whichever one is the newest one.
Shows how much we are in the Xbox know.
It's combat.
I'm just giving you shit. It's fine.
Yeah,
Let's move on.
no. I realized I said it's combat when I was supposed to. It's habit, literally, because I have the PlayStation Store open in front of me and and I saw the word combat. So that's about the level I'm operating on today. If somebody wants to make me say something heinous, just open up Slack and make it happen. So. Yeah.
I think the price point has a lot to do with this because like I could kind of get behind this if maybe this were like $5 a month or like maybe even a little bit less. Like then it seems like more of a fair deal because like with Netflix it's also about $10 a month, but like if you buy a DVD usually that costs like $15 or $20 by itself. So that seems kind of like a better price point maybe. I
feel like if it's comparable to PlayStation, like PlayStation tends to do a pretty lousy job of discounting old titles. Although are these exclusively previous gen?
No, there's current stuff on there.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean I don't know, $10 would be about the price of like one decent game used probably, right?
I think so. Yeah, but you're not like limited in this. It's not like hey, you pay $10 and you get a voucher. Like I could see this being Alexa, stop. I could see this being really good for like kids or families.
Did you just yell at your computer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I yelled at the lady in the tube in the room behind me.
This is like yeah, all right. This is like this century's version of domestic abuse. What do you
No, it's I don't actually yell at her. It's for performance. And now I feel very uncomfortable. Oh, man. Self-blast. Any final thoughts about this about the season pass thing? If you're listening and you have experience with this, like let us know either on Facebook or on Slack if you're going for it because obviously we don't have Xbox Ones just because I called it a 360 and we all laughed about that. I'm curious.
I think also I think another something in my story was talking about how a game is going to come out for the Scorpion soon, so that might be the next console up pretty soon.
Yeah. Nice.
So just on the vaguely related topic of like variant themes, it's been bothering me for a while. I wonder if Gamersgate.com ever regrets their name.
I mean, they were there originally. They didn't.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, that's my point.
Okay.
They got screwed.
Yeah, a little bit. I don't know. It's people ruin it for everybody. Yeah.
You know?
And on that note,
yeah, I don't know how to get out of that. It was a non sequitur. Ben, tell me about this new Lord of the Rings thing that leaked.
yeah, so it's too bad Dennis isn't here because this is kind of a response to what he was saying in his grind last week. But they announced the next Shadow of Mordor game. It's called Shadow of War? Middle Earth Shadow of War.
That's such a dumb name.
Such a memorable name that I had to go look it up 5 minutes after reading it.
Middle Earth Teflon of Teflon. Yeah.
Exactly.
It sounds like one of the generic names of indie games that I play that, I bring to the show. And then Cole's like, all of these have the most banal names ever.
Shadow of War, it's the video game version of the fake movie titles from Seinfeld. Sack lunch. What?
Yeah. So as I mentioned before, this is coming out for Project Scorpio and Xbox One. So I assume Project Scorpio is going to be the next console or something from Microsoft. It's also coming out on PC and PS4. But they haven't announced too many details about the game. They mentioned that there was developments to the Nemesis system. The only thing that they mentioned was that there's new ways for there to be loyalty, betrayal, and revenge, whatever that means or however that's implemented. And the other thing that they released is I think they released there's a quote unquote like a Nemesis base or something like that. But I can't understand if it's a base that you have or a base that you need to break into and take over and kill other people with. And the other thing that they announced about it is there's like a huge like tiered system that they have for how they're going to sell the game. There's going to be 4 different editions of it.
Oh no!
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah, there's like silver, gold, and mithril. So maybe only 3. Standard, silver, gold, and mithril. The mithril one they said is worth over $350. I guess
they would say that because nobody's stopping them.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't want to spend too much time harping on that because I'm not terribly interested in it. But I don't know. At least there's going to be a second game. I mean, I enjoyed the first game, so this might be cool, maybe. But I don't know. I don't know. We'll see once more details get announced with it. One last thing. They also announced that it's the same character from the first game is coming back in this game as well. So it's not like a different story or anything like that. So.
Nice.
I really want to see how they, or maybe they won't, keep this storyline from going completely off the rails.
Are you saying the first one went completely off the rails, or?
Well, I'm. The first one didn't go completely off the rails, but they're set up for the. I mean, I guess this is spoiler, but they're set up of like, hey, what we need to do now is create another The Ring. Like nothing could go wrong.
Yeah.
Like there's no way that makes a viable plot.
Yeah.
The Second Ring. Actually a better title. Yeah. I don't know. This is just another reminder that I need to get off my ass and play that. I know the dentist didn't care for it, but like
yes,
I've had it for
borrow his copy.
No, I've got it for PC. It's
okay.
Fine.
It is basically it's basically Batman with more fun stealth mechanics.
Yeah. No, I'm down for it. Like Dennis was the only person I've heard who didn't immediately make me want to play it.
I'm just curious. What was his complaint?
I think he thought the map was too small and it got repetitive, so he kind of got bored with it.
That's fair.
I mean, it is a small amount of gameplay. To me, at least, like it's a fun amount of gameplay. But I could see if you are not into that core mechanic, then it could get dull pretty quickly.
Yeah. I feel like it is really reliant on like the degree to which you can be entertained by just like dicking around and like some of the, just harassing the orcs.
Yeah.
Like this was so this game, it was leaked by Target. I think there was a retailer who listed this on a site. Like something got fucked up, which is just the way that it always happens now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So is there, and this is coming out soon, correct?
I believe in fall, but
So is there some sort of like rule of it seems like, some games we get announced like 5 years before they come out, whereas other ones it's like, and next month go.
Yeah, the release date's August 22nd. So 6 months from now.
That's reasonable.
Yeah, that's decent.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's also been a reasonable amount of time since the first one came out, and the first one was such an early generation PS4 thing. Like I have high hopes for this one.
Yeah, no, I think this could be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm still disappointed that no one picked up the Nemesis system.
Yeah. Leave it to them. Let them work out the kinks.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I've got a story. This one, it's really going to depend. Who here has played Blaster Master for the NES?
Not me.
I played a little bit of the Game Boy version.
Okay. Oh, wow, I didn't realize there was a Game Boy version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forget which generation of Game Boy, but there was one.
Huh. And Jala, you played Blaster Master, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I played this a little bit when I was young, and we covered it for Watch Out for Fireballs. Out of nowhere, it looks like we're getting a Blaster Master like prequel game. Called Blaster Master Zero. So, and it's coming out like crazy soon. So Blaster Master Zero, coming out on the Switch and the 3DS, March 9th. So like in less than a week as of when you're listening to this, which is pretty cool. And it's kind of part of this kind of huge opening salvo of these crazy retro indie games that are that are coming along here too. Like they're also getting another Shovel Knight. Guys, I really want a Switch. Yeah, I would like a Switch very much, please. When I didn't pre-order one, damn it. So
I thought they were supposed to be like, we learned our lesson and we made enough this time.
No, they never said that.
Okay.
I think it's like in every other thing, right? Where it's like the Wii's all sold out, and then the Wii U's, they probably made a bunch, and then they probably didn't sell out. So like, all right, we're going to make fewer next time.
Yeah. So fingers crossed. I hope that we're not in another NES classic. But like, if you look at the video for this, like I encourage people to go take a look. It's very much in the Shovel Knight style of, older style pixel art that feels pretty faithful to the NES, but is very much kind of upgraded from it, combined with this kind of bonkers animation on top of it. And the gameplay looks pretty standard Blaster Master. You have your you have your tank, you have your tiny little dude. And I see all of the navigation abilities. The top down looks like it's a little bit more, a little bit smoother. Like, yeah, fuck yeah, sign me up for it. Give me some more Blaster Master.
I'm kind of disappointed it's not called like Blaster Apprentice or something.
Blaster Journeyman. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. I feel bad for bringing something that people here don't have much to say about. Jala, like, are you seeing this? Like, how does this?
Yeah.
How does this hit you?
Well, the Polygon article says it. The title. It looks very good. Like. That's about it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's another thing. I really wish I could get a Switch too, because I like the little portable gaming bit, of course. But
yeah,
it's a thing. I don't have money for a Switch, even if I could get one. So that's my unfortunate boat.
So is this like the next version of the Game Boy?
It's the next version of the Wii U, except they're leaning
console.
on. Yeah. It's their main console, except the actual thing itself is a portable thing with a screen.
Yeah, so it's you can dock it and then actually see it on your big screen on your TV, and then you can also play it portably.
Yeah. Story I almost brought here. The Switch version of Stardew Valley is going to be the first one to get multiplayer.
Yeah, and the story you're referencing, I think they announced like 62 different titles that are going to be out for the Switch in the first year.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm pretty jazzed about it. David,
I want one when I can get one, provided that there's one available by the time I have money.
Yeah. Who knows? Just leverage the fan base. Have people send you theirs.
There you go.
Just have them send you one controller, and then you can play remotely.
Yeah, one controller. You mean a Joy-Con?
What?
Get it right.
Like, there's like 2 controllers, right?
Yeah. It's like the 2 little dinguses that plug into the side of the dingus.
Yeah, send a dingus.
Wait, so it's a Voltron?
Yeah. It's like it has different parts that you assemble. Which seems like it'd be a nightmare if you had a kid, but I don't. So
This just reminds me of the Google phone.
Maybe. Who knows? Who knows how it'll pan out? At the moment, I'm optimistic because you're giving me Blaster Master. David, what's
full circle.
David, what story you got?
Sure. So, Overwatch is going to be implementing a custom game browser on all their platforms, and or has implemented, and it basically allows players access to the options that they've been using for their Brawl game mode. So you can do things like restrict what heroes people can choose, mess around with the stats on abilities, hopefully low gravity. I'm hoping low gravity is the thing. And then you can play against people. So, yeah, I don't know. That just seems pretty badass.
It's better. I mean, so I don't know if it's better, but seems like a good complement to matchmaking.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I mean, they're just different things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
At the very least, it seems like it's a good way of implementing this without the problem of like you getting match made into a game mode you don't want to play.
Yeah.
So I'll be interested to see if there's any like I know with Halo there were a number of game modes that became like semi-standard.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be interested to see if anything like that comes up.
Yeah. I'll be curious to see if this affects the community at all. Like if it does cause that to solidify when you're not relying on matchmaking to have the kind of the enforced, not randomness, but the enforced rotation on a bunch of stuff.
Right.
Yeah. Cool. I don't know that I have anything more to add. Jala, Ben, do you have anything on Overwatch's game browser?
No, but it reminds me that I have that game and I should probably go play it sometime, but I haven't done it yet.
I didn't know you had that.
Sucked into. I've had it since my mom bought it for me as a gift, so I could play it. I don't know, what was it, like 2 weeks ago? And I loaded it up and I messed around a little bit for a few hours, and then I just didn't get back into it again because I forget I have it because it's not in my Steam library.
Yeah, that's a problem.
That's my thing. I don't remember I have it because it's a separate loading thing. And also, I was dragged into playing Guild Wars 2 again because some listeners are wanting to play and they have the game. And so I'm back in that game now.
Yeah.
Do I still have that installed?
If not, well, even if you do, it probably needs to update for about 1 million hours. So
yeah, especially the internet connection here sucks.
Well, you should. What you should do for sure is get it all updated so you can roll around with us because we'll be doing stuff again.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yay.
I do remember rolling being one of the more fun features.
One of the more frequent activities.
Also, since they allow the gliders to be used from the expansion pack in the regular game now, I totally glide everywhere, and it's so fun.
Multiplayer.
Now it is time for the multiplayer, where we ask you a question and you answer it. Jala, what is the question that you ask the nice people?
Welcome to Duck Game Jam. You are selected to do a 2-day video game creation event for Duckfeed. Who on the network is your partner, and what is your one-sentence game pitch? And thanks to Jonathan R. for the question.
And let's get started with Tim, who says, Jala, obviously it would be a free-to-play model, endless runner, in which all in-app purchases go to support whatever charity she is running for in real time at that time. If the player does not pay into the app by a certain point, an animation of Jala flipping a table plays and the app closes itself. So if I can give notes, then it deletes itself. is the obvious thing that you're missing here. You have to give it some pretty liberal, let's say, permissions to do that, to mess around. Can't guarantee it's not going to delete some contacts, but yeah, there you go. If you didn't want that to happen, you probably should have played in Given. But yeah, Jala Endless Runner sounds fun.
Yeah.
David, what does Ollie say?
Ollie says, Dennis, the game is a Dark Souls alike, but the levels are designed to be taken in small, bite-sized chunks, taking 20 minutes or less. Suitable for dads of toddlers and babies to play during the blessed downtimes.
Oh, by dads for dads.
I would play that too, because I don't have a lot of time to sink in all at one go, but 20 minutes or less, I can do that. That's a thing that can happen. Yeah. Make this game, Ollie. I command you.
it's like Dark Souls WarioWare or NES Remix. Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
To be fair, I would buy a Wario themed like Souls alike. That would be pretty badass.
Bold new move from Nintendo. From Nintendo R&D 2. Yeah.
Every time you missteer the motorcycle, you fall off and you are dead.
Oh, yeah. Chase writes, he chooses Kole, saying, walking sim adaptation of House of Leaves, where you randomly shift perspectives or characters. living into me being just a complete parody. And I don't know why I picked that up, because that should have been you, Ben, which I'll give to you right now. Ben, what does Sam say?
Sam says, Jala would be the obvious answer for me, but I'm going to have to say my partner would be Kole, and the game is called Abject Suffering Recommendation Hero. It's basically just retro game challenge, but instead of pastiches from the 1980s Japanese NES games, it's Euro platformers, licensed puzzles games, and the bottom of a DOS shareware barrel.
All the stuff that Sam goes and like takes all this time painstakingly to find like some shit to recommend for Abject Suffering. That is like his big claim to fame for sure, and it's definitely a Sam thing to do. So honestly, that is the best answer for Sam.
It is a pretty good answer. I would love the idea of a retro games challenge that is Abject Suffering themed, and just like because oh man, Euro platformers. Isometric collectathons. Yeah, just pick those likely suspects, make versions of it, and put in Abject Suffering jokes. I dig it. Although Sam did just sign up to make like 20 different games. So, Jala, what does Michael say?
Michael says, I'd choose David as my teammate because we seem to share a taste for gratuitous combat in games. Plus, he actually knows how to program stuff, unlike me. He and I would team up to create Bullet Hell. Join the badass Father Colt as he condemns monsters to the inferno using a variety of Helsing-esque blessed armaments.
I honestly think that bullseyes me pretty well.
It really does. It's kind of eerie, Michael.
I would play the shit out of that.
But would you make the shit out of it?
Probably.
Okay. Okay, let's pick it up here. Derek says, hello, I'm Derek, and this is Kole, and we're here to tell you about our latest dynamic duo platformer, Men Out of Time. Together, we use 50s sitcom references and early 20th century music to contextualize the world around us so that we can safely navigate across areas such as the desert of pop culture or the bogs of pretension. Well, we tell you more, but we're men out of time. Thank you. And then I bowed.
And then you just drive away on your jet skis.
Yeah, Derek, I don't know why you didn't let me talk during that presentation. I know I'm a loose cannon, but man, at the time, I just do like almost like a Phoenix Wright kind of thing where you have to convince coworkers that are your same age that Happy Days existed. You guys know the Fonz, How can you be 30 and not know who the Fonz is? David, what does James say?
James says, I choose Gary. And we make a Pokemon clone that uses network folks and running jokes as the Pokemon you catch. Buffo would be the box legendary.
Of course. And that we would have to keep him in a legendary box so that he would not get out and rip all of our phone books in half, and we wouldn't know how to call the pizza hospital. Yep. Yeah, I dig that. Oh gosh, Ben, I need you to read Russell's.
Russell says Guitar Hero, but Sugarbone songs. Jala is the only person who loves Sugarbone as much as me, so we're on the same page.
Yes, Sugarbone forever.
So this one actually got me thinking. This was one of my, like, I don't know, shower thoughts things or something. I would love to see like a Sugarbones, not so much Guitar Hero as much as like Brutal Legend. Like, just in general, I would love to see like the general concept of Brutal Legend just like take the stereotypical, like, I don't know, world described by some like musical genre and make it into a game.
Could be like New Orleans themed, like the dark part of Sugarbone's life when he got into a heroin addiction. And he's just sees a bunch of There'll be the scary fun house part of the game. Yeah,
and then I got thinking, like, you could do that with so much, with so much stuff. I feel like any genre you could just, I don't know. I think it'd be interesting.
I like the idea of Sugarbone's Guitar Hero. What would Sugarbone singing like Creed, Can You Take Me Higher sound like, Kole?
Oh, you're not going to trick me into doing that. I have to wake up mighty early in the morning.
I'm still lobbying for a Sugarbone song, like, or an EP or something. I really want that to be a thing.
Yeah,
let's
like
Sugarbone's Christmas album.
Yeah, can you get that as like a new level on the Patreon, the Sugarbones album?
I would totally love it, and I would find a way to rally people for that.
I don't know. Just don't stop bothering me about it.
I'm never going to stop, Kole.
Okay, it's fine.
I'm a dedicated fan of Sugarbone.
Yeah. Jala, what does Jonathan say?
Jonathan says, I'm going to go with David. Imagine a sunless sea like steampunk cities displaced in time that interact with fantastical creatures like dinosaurs, giant sentient bugs, just not spiders, and mythicals like griffins. You have to stop a crazy cult disconnecting souls from bodies, learn the mystical ways of gods from another city, and explore the seedy underbelly of city that brought you here.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
Yep. People apparently have me pegged pretty good.
That's so funny.
Especially the next comment.
Of course.
Oh, wait, I missed the next one. Let's see.
Oh, I'll take us right to that. We can get these in a go. David writes, Moneysmith, Stanley Parable spiritual successor, smiley face.
I do have to say, when I originally saw this, I misread it, and I thought it was for making a bonus episode with just like a random person. So my answer was like me and Gary tag teaming the Stanley Parable.
Oh, geez.
just to get like it would basically be like the video game version of like, was it like Crossfire or one of those news programs that's just like watch people yell at each other for an hour.
I would not be able to listen to that. That'd be so uncomfortable.
I would be listening to it and giggling so hard. It would be the best episode ever, I think.
Mom, Dad, stop fighting. I'm pretty disappointed that nobody's picked Ben.
I noticed that as well.
Yeah.
Also funny because I program on a daily basis.
Yeah. Ben is the person who's made the most game here.
That's actually
Well, that's
true.
because you already have Rocket League, Ben. What else is there?
That's a good point. I don't have the will to make any other games.
Rocket League is all.
Yeah.
I just like the idea of sitting down to make something, and then like 6 months later, coming back and I've unveiled my creation. Oh, it's Rocket League. Shit again.
Well, that's like where's that guy who rewrote Don Quixote word for word, but argued that his version was better because whereas was it Cervantes was writing something that was set in his current time period, like his is the period piece.
That's a kind of a dick move.
Yeah, there's just this thing. I think it was like some sort of like I don't know, whatever like the literary criticism version of avant-garde art was basically what it was. But
is he asserting that period pieces are better than like contemporary pieces?
It was. I'm trying to. Sorry, I would look it up. I would look it up now, but it would be a thing where like halfway into the grind, I'd be like, "Oh, I finally found it."
Yeah, people can look it up.
Let's just abandon the podcast and talk about this.
David, what does Franz say?
Franz says, Dennis, to create a tactical turn-based RPG in the Dark Souls world.
People, so I guess Dennis is the second most Dark Souls loving person on the podcast. People keep immediately going to him, maybe because he has more diverse tastes, and it's easy to say, "Oh, a tactical turn-based game." Yeah,
maybe it's because he talks about it more on this show, since you talk about it more on another show.
Oh yeah,
I do find it funny though that if you made a game that was like a tactical turn-based that was had the difficulty curve of Dark Souls, you would basically have the original XCOM.
Just about. Let's see, Ben, what does Greg say?
Greg says, Jala Prendes, visual novel games that drive you crazy, but you keep playing anyway.
See, that's where like my table flipping would have to be the gauge. Like, how many tables is Jala flipping while playing this game? Has she thrown her Vita?
How many degrees has the table rotated? Yeah.
So it's like it's like a WarioWare DIY, except you compose a visual novel, or you like put the elements together, and it like, and then Jala judges them. Yeah. I'm not talking about like I like actual Jala. I'm talking about like in-game avatar Jala.
See, now I'm just imagining. Okay, just ignore me tonight.
I like the idea of a table flipping RPG where you just have to train Jala to be able to more efficiently flip tables.
It could be like. It could be like Hand of Fate, but if you piss off the Jala fortune teller too much, he just flips the table and cards go everywhere.
Oh, people die.
That would be pretty awesome. Like, but that would be like if you keep trying to jack with the game and you try to break the game, Jala just gets mad and flips, Jala character.
Yeah, basically you're presenting yourself as a Mr. Rossetti trickster god.
Yeah.
Ooh, I never thought of him that way.
Yeah, he totally is.
Wait, I must go to TV tropes.
This troper thinks. And then Jala round us out with My
says, partner with Jala and create an adventure game visual novel based on her comic, because she both has the story well fleshed out already for us and knows what elements of an adventure game visual novel are table flipping annoying. And the funny thing about this is that I actually want to do an adventure game / visual novel based on my comic. Mm-hmm. So that's a thing I want to do anyway. It's just I don't have time right now with all the things going on in my life to focus on my personal artwork. Like, I'm trying to get stuff right now settled down, my medical stuff and other life things that have been coming up. Once I get all that squared away, then I can get back to working on my personal artwork, which includes working on my comic, and then that may be a thing that happens in the future. So this is actually not out of the realm of possibility. So,
my nailed it.
Mm-hmm.
she proposed the one that is most likely to happen.
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't have an idea that I want to share because my ideas are precious and I would not give them away to just anybody. Does anybody else have one? Go ahead.
I have an answer for every one of my co-hosts because I can't just pick one of you.
Okay.
I mean, I love you all, so I have an answer for everybody. So if it's Ben, I say we should make a space exploration game, but when you go to planets, you play Rocket League type tournaments against the aliens.
Are they in cars as well?
Rocket Ship League.
Yeah, well, they might even be cars. I don't know. It depends on the planet. It's space exploration. It's space. They might be car-like enough to just play with their... That's really weird to say play with their bodies in this context, but I mean, whatever.
Just get that sweet licensing deal. Guess what? You landed on a planet. It's Disney's Cars.
Yeah, there you go.
Where you have to show the millennial car what's wrong with the way they live their life.
Which takes place in the same universe as all the other Pixar movies for some reason.
So if it's Dennis, it's really quick and easy. I would say we'd have to make Johnny Power Up, which is the game he wants to make about disempowerment, about being basically a disabled superhero and having to find a way through puzzles and things without having the superpowers that everybody else around him has because he's in a superhero school or something. And I would probably make that with him. And if my partner is Kole, we would make the spookiest exploration game ever with lots of doors and drawers for Kole to systematically open and close.
Thank you for remembering to close because I'm not a monster.
But when he closes stuff, it summons ghosts and demons and shit, so it would make it way harder because he has to close everything, and there would be like a shit ton of stuff you'd have to close.
All this other stuff you're making it like cater to their particular taste. You just made a Kole torture machine.
To be fair, I feel like that is your particular taste.
Well, and then also you can manipulate a lot of random items in the environment, regardless of whether or not they're actually important to the story. So that way, I can wander off and be entertained by everything, completely ignoring what's supposed to be happening, and like giggling over there about some absurd thing that I saw. So, and then if my partner is David, we would have to make a new Resident Evil co-op game that brings Jake ridiculous ass back, probably in space, because we both decided that's the next place they'd have to go to make it bigger than Resi 6. But in order to prevent David's head from exploding, there must be conservation of mass. And when the monsters morph, they don't get bigger.
All I'm saying is magic effing zombies.
Well, you were just ranting on that so hardcore when we were playing. I was just about to flip a table for the phrase conservation of mass. But anyway, also there'd have to be more in-depth melee based on martial arts because reasons. So,
as a side note, have you ever played Enter the Gungeon?
No.
You definitely should check that out. Table flipping is in fact a integral game mechanic.
It's also balls hard.
True.
Yeah.
Which will make me flip real tables.
Yeah. Is that everything, Jala?
Yeah, I'm just going with the level host. I don't want to go into every host on the network. That's too long.
Yeah, too much. David, Ben, anything from you guys?
I like Table Flipper RPG. I'd make it a puzzle game as well, where you have to level up so you can flip more tables, but then you have to solve puzzles in order to move through the world.
Oh, it's like a Sokoban kind of thing.
But heroes.
Yeah. So you can like Metroid it, so it's like there's big tables that you can't flip, or there's some that you need to flip higher or something like that.
I like it.
Let me think. I actually I thought it was supposed to be like us with some of the viewers, so I think I'd just take the vast swath of our viewership that are martial artists and make the most badass sequel to Jade Empire or whatever. Also, I'm kind of disappointed that no one mentioned Dennis and pinball.
Oh yeah,
right. Pinball, that's the thing.
I think I would want to make some sort of pinball game where you're somehow a paladin, simply so you could call the game Holy Roller.
Oh, I'm positive that's a thing.
I'm so disappointed that what is the Rollers of the Realm? I'm so disappointed that wasn't the name they used for their cleric class.
Oh, of course.
Well, that's okay, because, see, I was only mentioned in terms of, like, Vizinovs and adventure games because that's what I've been playing in the last few months because I've had a lot of stress. Yeah. But I play, a wide variety of other things, and I like a wide variety of other things. Like, I like to shoot a person, and, I like to explore things, but, whatever.
Yeah.
So, it's a thing.
I'm very happy being in my comfort zone of being a parody of myself, which is good. So
being a man out of time,
of course. So your assignment, I'm gonna. So Ben is our new Beyonce. If you have an idea of something to work on with Ben, I want you to put it on that same thread. So that is that is my command to the listeners. I don't ask for much. Cool. Thank you everybody for writing in. If you want to participate in those, this one was kind of a fun little goof 'em up. But I've thought about a Duckfeed game jam from time to time. If I had
that would be pretty cool.
More energy or mind to put to it. So if that's something you're interested in, let us know. But go to facebook.com/thelevelpodcast. We put those up on Tuesday afternoons, thanks to Jala and Dennis who take care of that.
The grind.
Now it is time for the grind, where we talk about the games we have been playing over the past week or period of time or so. David, since you have been away the longest, I will throw to you first.
Sure. I've pretty much just been kicking around more Warframe and Vermintide. I don't know, it's continues to be fun, although I have hit a little bit of a wall with the difficulty.
Which game?
In Warframe, sorry. And it eventually becomes much more grindy once you get to where you need to get some of the more specific higher level equipment in order to really be competitive. And but I mean it's still fun being a ninja space terrorist running around blowing stuff up.
Not that I'm encouraging it, but can you buy your way out of the grind?
You can. Okay. So you can. It's kind of rough because the pricing, at least for me, is right in the middle of, it's a game I would have no problem paying a subscription for, but the price they want a la carte is more than what I'd be willing to spend. But
gotcha.
So they had a Valentine's Day event where one of the game mechanics is that there's a small chance in any match you're in that one of the factions that you've pissed off will send a assassin after you. And it's basically like a super high level character that will appear halfway through the match and start attacking your team. But they tend to drop really high level loot. So they had an event where basically some of the more desirable assassins over the Valentine's Day weekend would appear one mission at a time. If you ran that mission, it would always appear in. So that was kind of fun, just like getting in groups and running to try to get this loot, things like that. So it's been pretty good. Other than that,
does your character have the pimple on the back of his neck?
Yes, he does.
Okay.
Where did that come from?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, your character can get infected with a disease, I guess, that is kind of related to the in-game sort of equivalent of like the flood.
Okay.
And you can then use the DNA from that infection, which basically manifests as this like growth on the side of your character's neck, to form a flood dog thing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really pretty disturbing considering that it's like it's your little summon thing, but it's also blatantly a person that's like been mutated and has had their spine like bent backwards in or into the rough shape of a dog.
Oh God.
Yeah, like I said, when I call it like space terrorists, like there's some really questionable things that these supposedly good guys do.
Yeah. No, I know about the weird neck pimple because I like I'm in a couple of threads about people being very upset about things on the internet. And some people got really upset that this tiny little thing was on their Warframe character that they didn't ask for.
Yeah, although I don't know if you always have been able to, but you can remove it.
Yeah. That was they were still entitled to their pristine Warframe.
Yeah, I got nothing. Like, they're, especially considering that half of the Warframes are straight up like Geiger style nightmare fuel.
I know. I am taking shots at literally nobody. It was just it's a funny story, and also like I think that's like legit a cool thing to use in the game, especially when the Warframes are already so visually busy.
Sure. Yeah, they actually do a lot of a number of interesting things in terms of going off of what you're talking about, visually busy. There's a number of the weapon designs that are actually really, really cool. So I'm currently using a machine gun that has like the big, like crescent moon shaped clip, and basically you load it from the bottom, and as you fire it, kind of like typewriter styles out the top. And then when you load, like the banana clip goes flying over your shoulder. So there's a number of them that they actually have the slide animated, things like that. So yeah, they're really into the like detailed, kind of over-engineered look for things. That's kind of cool.
Detail porn.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What else?
Other than that, I've been playing a lot of Vermintide. I got through all of the missions in the pre-expansion pack.
Okay.
So there's, they don't really put much effort into making you do them in order, but there is, a certain degree where after you beat certain ones, you unlock others, and they do vaguely tell a story.
Okay.
But yeah, so now that I've gone through them all the first time, I'm now trying them on higher difficulty levels, and they have instituted a system where you can do daily challenges to get loot. So that's that kind of adds some replayability to it. So yeah, it continues to be just kind of a lot of the same fun as Left 4 Dead. I've been playing with Kole and Jala, and then also some pickup groups to try to get geared up some, because I'm a little bit behind. Kole and Jala, Dennis and Jala.
Okay,
all right.
I was about to
like, wait a minute. Oh God, that's not a thing I do.
It's happening again.
Blackout Vermintide again.
I'm a little bit behind. Dennis, but yeah, it's interesting. I feel like it's a little bit rougher than Left 4 Dead, although I do really like some of the character interactions, and there's some really neat features with that.
Yeah.
Huh.
Is that all?
Yeah, I think that's about it.
Cool. Jala, I'm curious to hear what you've been playing.
Well, I've been playing Guild Wars 2, as I mentioned before. I played with Greg for his birthday. Happy belated birthday again, Greg. And then also with George and Sam. They are now getting towards like level 20-ish. And so we're probably going to be playing kind of consistently like on on Sundays, and we're going to be doing so for the foreseeable future. The problem with the guild the last time we were playing Guild Wars 2, which was about a year ago, was that everybody was on a different schedule, so we just couldn't align it to where everybody got the chance to play as a group. But at least the people that I'm playing with right now are all pretty much available on Sundays, at least for a little bit. And, after that, I have other stuff I have to get going to do. Sam goes to sleep early because he wakes up insanely early for work and things like that. So, I mean, we play for a limited amount of time, but last Sunday we played for, I want to say about 3 hours. So we get a good chunk of time in there. And if George and Greg, who are the ones who are newer to the game, get some time to play together sometime during the week, that's cool because, both Sam and I have level 80 characters. So we don't really need to go through and do everything that they're doing right now. Sam rolled a new Ranger character and I have my Revenant character that I've been playing. So, yeah, it's been fun. It continues to be neato to glide around. It feels like cheating because, I played the game the hard way without being able to glide everywhere and, break my falls and stuff. And, now I don't take fall damage, and stuff like that. But anyway, yeah, it's cool. So
yeah. So you don't have to do anything and they will just level into you being able to effectively play with them.
Yeah, but, I am running with them and doing whatever it is that they're doing at the time, but, they're also trying to get a little bit of game time in when they can, so that way they can get to a higher level and actually get into the really cool stuff. So, but because we're only playing once a week together, that's not so much Guild Wars 2 that I'm going to get burned out on it. Part of the problem too is just if I play too much of it, of any particular game, eventually I'm going to get sick of playing it and going through the same things over and over again, and want to do something different, So that's cool that, it's limited enough that I shouldn't have that problem, and I'm playing a new class, so that should keep me entertained. And if not, I have a Char Guardian who's a big cat-looking dude. He's giant. He's in bright pink armor, and he has bunny ears on his head because that's how I decked him out.
Because of course, yeah. Because
he makes me very happy. So I mean, if I want to, I can just switch to him and be happy, and whatever.
What's the new class you're playing as?
Revenant. It is a heavy armor class. It's a soldier class, but it also has some aspects that I think came from the assassin class from the original game, which basically they have heavy armor, heavy weapons. They have mace and swords and hammers and things like that, but their attacks will do damage in a radius. They have stances that offer buffs or special effects, but they also have other added, unique abilities from warriors in that they basically can warp towards enemies or pull the enemies towards them, or, any number of other things like that, where it's more movement focused, to get up in somebody's grill or, pull them close to you or whatever, so you can wreck their day. And so when I get to higher levels and I have more stuff unlocked and we're fighting different types of enemies, it's probably going to be a lot of fun to play. But as I said last time, I don't really do melee very often, not in these types of games, and I really don't. I have not spent a lot of time doing melee in Guild Wars, any Guild Wars game. I don't tend to play that type of class for long, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes for me. But if I don't like it, I have plenty of other characters I can switch to. But that's all I've got to say about Guild Wars 2. Yeah. Anybody want to say anything?
No, it's cool that there's still just a little bit of activity that you can jump into and jump out of.
Yeah. So the other thing I've been playing is The Inner World. I finished it, guys.
Yeah.
It was wonderful.
You talked about this last week. Yeah.
I talked some
Did
sugar,
you
and
flip any tables?
No, I absolutely love this game to the point that I didn't want to put it down ever. I was just so happy about it, and I didn't get burned out on puzzles. That actually happened when I was playing Machinarium, which we did the bonus thing about, because like the puzzles in there sometimes are a little bit challenging or don't telegraph quite right, quite clearly, but I didn't have that problem at all with Inner World. I was just happy from beginning to end. I really wanted to just play it. I was looking forward to when I could fit it in for my day. So I have to say I'm very happy to announce that Inner World 2 comes out this year, guys. So I get to see a sequel, and it's a direct sequel that takes place after the first game. So it's awesome.
Oh, weird. And they weren't showing that at PAX.
They weren't. I didn't see it there. They had some other game, and they had the original Inner World, but they did not show Inner World 2.
Oh.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
But they've shown on their Facebook page that they are doing the recording, the voice recording and stuff like that. So I don't know where they are in development, and it might be really late in the year that it's coming out, and they just don't have enough ready to share yet. I don't know. But I want a Robert plush like the main character. I love him. He's so fun. I want him to be a plush. If anybody can sew this for me, message me. I want one. And maybe a Gorf plush and maybe a Peck plush. They're all awesome characters.
So this is like a pretty cartoony adventure game style game.
Yes, it is so charming and so funny and so fun, and it flows really well. Like there isn't any kind of weird slowdown or hiccups, and like the puzzles are not too easy and not too hard. And I want to tell everybody about this game. It's really awesome and it was so refreshing to play. So I have to say this is probably one of my favorite adventure games. It's just it's fun. It's short, it's sweet, and I really like it. So play it, everybody. Play it. It's awesome.
How long is the game?
It is a total of 5 chapters, and I don't know how long every chapter is. I'm sorry. I guess it depends on how long it takes you to go through the puzzles, but it's not a very long game. It's a few hours, handful of hours. But it's not a big time sink, but it'll be a lot of fun to bounce through. So it's so awesome. I like it.
Yeah, I'm happy.
I'm so happy to have played it.
Yeah, that's that is a resounding endorsement.
Yeah, so that's all I have to say about that. I don't want to spoil the game, but it's really awesome. So play the thing.
Very cool. Anything else, Jala?
Nope.
Ben, tell me about video games or magic.
I got a bunch of weird stuff. So XCOM 2, of course, and Rocket League, of course. I got to a kind of a blocking point on XCOM 2, so I'll probably go back to it in a week or so. But I'm on a hard mission, so I'm gonna do that later. I got frustrated and rage quitted. But outside of that, I watched one of my coworkers play the game Braid. He streamed it online. That's a really great game. I forgot how good that game is, but that was cool. Mostly just watching the game to try and figure out how it was programmed was the enjoyable part of it for me this time. Because he gave I think I linked this at one point in the past, but I'm not sure. There's a talk that Jonathan Blow did on the Game Developers Conference where he talked about how he did the rewind feature in Braid. That's really interesting. Basically just saves the game state 100% and has a certain amount of memory allocated to a record of the entire game state the entire time that you're playing. Yeah. So you can only play levels for a certain amount of time before you have to it will reset or something like that.
Yeah.
And then so that was fun to watch and see. He only got halfway through, so I'll probably watch the other half later. Other things that I've been into, I started playing Magic the Gathering. I won't dwell too much on this since it's not explicitly video games.
I know people who listen like Magic a lot, so if you want to,
okay. I'm way new to it, so it's basically just like you have a deck of cards. It's similar to Hearthstone, but it's been out for 10 or 15 years, so it kind of said it. There's basically 2 types of card or 3 types of cards maybe. There's mana that you can lay down once per turn. You have creatures that you have to spend mana to put on the board that can attack the other player. But then they can play down creatures, and their creatures can block your creatures, sort of thing. very similar to Hearthstone if people have been playing that. And then there's third thing, artifacts or sorcery. I guess they're different. Where it's like spells or kind of random things that you can do that you can either play at specific times or sometimes you can play them at any time. And then there's different colors to the cards. Like some of them cost a specific type of resource. So typically people will have 2 different colors in their deck that correspond to 2 different, I guess, styles of play. So like black is very aggressive, red's very aggressive, but then white is very, I guess, like wholesome and regenerative powers or whatever. Anyway. What got me into this is at my work they do a magic draft, and so everyone starts with 3 decks and they do deck drafting where you open up a deck, you pick a card out of it, keep it, and then you pass to your left, and you do this until you have all the cards in the deck. And so you can do this for like $8 and you get to keep all the cards afterwards. So it was a pretty cool deal. And so it's been pretty interesting. And then we're doing like a tournament play now. So you just play for fun with the decks that you make. So there's like a couple of different strategy elements of the game. The first part is the drafting, where you have to try and recognize like what's a good deck to build as you're passing decks around, which is like interesting strategy. And typically you're supposed to pick your color by the first or second deck, or pick your 2 colors by the first or second deck. Even by the first deck, you might pick both your colors at that point, which is kind of like I don't know. That's kind of like puts a high pressure on the situation where you have to kind of pick something and go for it. But there's an interesting strategy element there. Once you have all your cards, there's an interesting strategy element of you're picking a subset of the cards that you've picked to make your deck. Like you only need like maybe 25 of the cards out of 45 that you picked. And so you have to kind of figure out what cards work really well together and what you want to take from that. And then actually playing the game is you just shuffle your deck and then you draw from it and then you play. So so it's a very interesting process, brand new to me, so I thought it was cool. So I don't know, if anybody ever wants to talk about it or whatever, then
So you were among company, like these are people that you work with who were able to like you pick up on this stuff because you play board games style things a lot, but like this was an accessible thing for you.
Yeah, and that was something that was really nice too. Is everyone was like very friendly about it. Everyone's like really good about teaching you like the rules and stuff. So it's a really great environment to learn it in. It's not high stress or anything like that at all. So
Nice.
All right. I'm gonna sidestep on beyond that if there's no more questions. One other brief thing I want to mention that's kind of tangentially related is I started a game of Risk Legacy over the weekend.
Oh, nice.
Which is the Legacy style game, so it's like regular Risk, but you make permanent additions.
The original one.
Yes, the original Legacy game. The first game that you play is very similar to Risk. The rules are only slightly different, but then you start making permanent modifications to the board, so then it becomes its own thing by the end of the game, and you play this for like maybe 15 games, and there's a winner after that eventually. A small spoiler, so if you don't want to be spoiled by Risk Legacy, skip past this for like a minute or 2. This time that we played the game, there is this really cool Easter egg of the game where if you take out the insets of the board, there's this envelope taped to the bottom. So there's envelopes all over the game where it's like, once you meet this condition, open this up. Once you meet this condition, open it up. And that's how like the rule set evolves. But if you lift out the inset of the board game, below that there's a card, an envelope that just says, "Don't open this ever," and that's it. So of course you have to open it, right? But so with we found this out with the first game that we played, but we never opened the envelope because we never finished that run of games or whatever.
Okay.
But with this one, kind of wanted to be more experimental, so we decided to open it at the very beginning of the game to see what it would do. So apparently, I don't know all the effects, but apparently it's kind of like Clue, where there's different effects in different board games. So you legit don't know what you're going to open up. Like it's just some sort of random effect. It could be very bad, and it could be very good. And we got a bad one. We got one where it's like a virus is released, very similar to like Pandemic.
Oh, God.
So periodically events will happen where entire countries will just be killed. like you have to take all the troops out of them because a virus has spread to that country. And it's like a random country each time. So that will make the games even more interesting. So that was kind of fun. All right. So that's all I have to say about Risk Legacy.
So are you in it for the long haul?
How will I form the Australia siege if I just get randomly wiped out?
You can. You just have to hope. We've only read one of the event cards, so we haven't read all of them. But the one that we read is like you have to take out like all of the troops in one country, and then you have to take out two in every adjacent country. But the one that it is it's whatever country's in the fourth position of the cards that are out. And what that implies is that it's a country that nobody has taken. So it means that it's probably just like a dead country. Or it's probably a country that no one has invested a lot in. So it should be a country that is not too important to you, hopefully. But yeah, I don't know. That's definitely a cool mechanic that's not even in the regular rule set. So it's cool that little Easter egg's there.
Yeah. Are you in this for the long haul? Like, are you going to play all the rounds that are necessary?
Yeah, I think so. So the people we're playing with, they're usually pretty good, committed board game players. I think 3 of the 4 people that we're playing with are also playing another legacy game, Seafall, which is amazing, which I could gush about for a longer amount of time, but I won't. So we only played 2 games this last weekend, but yeah, I think we'll probably keep meeting up and try and get through like the 15 or 16 because I haven't actually played through an entire Risk Legacy game yet, so I'm kind of interested in doing that. Yeah. Yeah, but and then the results of the first 2 games, I won the first game. I was 4th in line to put position on the map, and nobody picked Australia for some reason, so I picked Australia, of course. Ended up winning, of course. So then I boosted Australia, where one of the endgame perks is you can find a continent, and then you just by yourself receive a +1 bonus to that continent for the continent bonus. So like if I have Australia on future games, I get 3 reinforcements instead of 2. Yeah. So yeah.
Huh. I wonder if they avoided picking Australia because they were worried that there would be rules that would kind of depower it.
Well, so 3 of the 4 people have already played the game before, so that's like the other interesting thing about this playthrough is a lot of people know what's coming. So there's like kind of like a meta strategy there where I don't know, it makes the planning more interesting of what you need to do. But yeah, I don't know why people didn't pick it. Maybe they were afraid people would gang up on them if they picked Australia, but it's Australia, dude. Nobody goes for Australia. So.
I just remember working with some house rules, like when we played it in high school. Like, Australia would connect to this part of like South America or something like that. Just in order to make it so it was less because picking Australia and then just building up there like crazy was just kind of a cheap tactic. Yeah.
So there's actually
cheap
rules.
Nothing.
There's actually ways in this game that you can connect countries that are not connected from the beginning. I won't say how, but so there are ways for that to actually be achieved in this game as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah. Anyway,
any video games?
Yeah, let's get to the actual video games. So the one new game that I started playing that I want to talk about is I started playing Metal Gear Solid Revengeance.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Because I feel has anyone played that on this podcast? Because I feel like we've talked about it a whole bunch, but
I only played a little bit of it. Like I played a bit of the demo, and I'm like, "This is crazy!" And then Sam bought it for me. It's in my backlog. I will play it sometime.
I've played like the first handful of chapters. It's one that I've wanted to dedicate time to, and I just haven't had the time to really like sink my teeth in.
You guys have both played past where I've played because I've only played a tiny bit of it, just like the opening part of it.
Yeah.
So maybe
up
like
up to the tunnel fight, probably.
Yeah. I got through that and then saw like the opening cutscene or whatever, and then but yeah, the opening part is like it's great. Like it's it is definitely not a game that you will take seriously. No. Yeah, this is very much like it's very much like a Metal Gear and like Bayonetta had a baby, I guess. Like, But I mean, if you go in with the right expectations, like it's definitely a joy to play. Like seeing someone like run on the huge machine, dragging his sword behind him, and then that cuts him in half somehow. It's I don't know, anime logic. It's awesome.
Fighting the Metal Gear, the Metal Gear rays on the side of the building. Like just the fact that your first boss in that really is just a gigantic Metal Gear ray.
And then you suplex them.
Yeah, there's so hopefully. All right, I'm just going to spoil the first opening.
Yeah, just the first chapter. Like
there's a part. Yeah, so there's giant Metal Gear or whatever. He has like these giant swords or whatever. There's one part where you just pick him up by his sword and throw him into a building. It makes no sense, but it's awesome.
But I mean, like if it was just craziness for the sake of craziness, whatever. But like it's fun. Like
exactly.
that is worked into the play.
It's fun.
Yeah. Immediately
Also,
around
the
the same.
game
Okay.
only gets more over the top as it goes along.
Great. I'm happy about that. There's one part where it's firing missiles at you, and so there's a cutscene where you're jumping missile to missile back towards the thing that's shooting it at you, so that you can jump on them and then cut them up some more and run along them with your knife some more. It's just I don't know. It's definitely a joy to play. And just it's almost like there's a bunch of like mini games like baked into it. You know, like when you're doing this fight, like it's not just like kind of like a boring stale like boss fight where you learn the moveset and you just have like your particular things that you're doing. Like it's very dynamic where, you know, you'll fight him and then he'll throw you into a building, and then there's a cutscene where you're running down the building towards him and you're dodging missiles that he's shooting you, and it's like a completely different programmed environment. So
it's not just like a QTE, like it's an actual like small little scenario that they throw you into in the middle of this bigger fight.
Yeah, exactly. It's like if you had something like WarioWare, but it made cohesive sense, kind of. Like,
I mean, just barely.
Yeah. So I've only played the opening chapter, but it's been a lot of fun so far.
I love the dialogue.
Yeah. the pairing mechanic in that is so good. Oh my god.
Okay. Yeah. The ninja run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I have a tremendous amount of goodwill for that for that game. I need to play and beat it, but then I also need to play and beat Nier so I can play fucking Nier Automata.
Yeah, I think the big thing is
platinum game.
Yeah.
So that's the big thing is like just don't go in with the expectation of it being a Metal Gear game, because it just has a Metal Gear skin. I feel like
it's decidedly.
I feel like though it is true to Metal Gear, just like it very purposely does the like overly philosophical dialogue and like the weird attention to detail and stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. The longest cutscene I've seen is only 5 minutes. So that doesn't sound like Metal Gear.
But it's nice that there were these two little like points of divergence, right? Because you have and it's crazy that they're both so gameplay heavy. But like you have Rising Revengeance, which takes it really, really far into Crazy Town, and then you have Metal Gear Solid 5, which is still, I mean, don't get me wrong, still kind of Crazy Town, but it's like more grounded and like gritty. Like, just the fact that you have one that is kind of embedded in the middle of the timeline and one that is so far out in the timeline that it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Have they ever said if they're thinking about doing a sequel to that?
It's
Revengeance?
It's been rumored occasionally, but I imagine with the state that Konami is in, that it's not likely to happen. And Platinum is just working on other stuff.
Yeah.
But, I'm super happy that you like it, Ben.
Yeah. So I think that'll probably be the primary game for the next week or two. That's not Rocket League.
It's not terribly long. Like it just it is like a God Hand or insert platinum game here. In terms of
and one thing that's been interesting so far, because I remember the big sell on this game was like the tech demo where you could slice like watermelons, and the shapes would break apart and whatever. The system they have for that here is there's like a quick time event where you're kind of standing in front of something and you're basically choosing whether you're slicing horizontal or vertical, and then you just slice something up a whole bunch and control the camera. So it's like it kind of has the same sort of thing that they promised in the tech demo, but it definitely doesn't feel as like free as that was. But perhaps that'll develop or open up or change. So I don't know.
It's just a way for them to build in like a finisher that plays into that weird trope.
Yeah.
And it is fun just completely liquefying bosses and then have them somehow still give a closing monologue.
Yeah, I cross-cut your trachea, dog. So, no, that's cool. Anything else?
That's all.
Cool. I will round us out. Played a little bit more Dragon Quest Builders. I feel like there's been plenty said on other shows. I haven't played, I'm not terribly far into it, but I really enjoy the more structured approach to builder style play. which is like you have, this special power and you go into a town and there's like one person who says, man, I'd really love a bed. And then you just gather the materials for a bed. Like you have like these tiny little submissions that you have the ability to kind of fulfill in the way that you see fit. And they give you basically however much guidance that you want or need, and it's mixed in with this, pretty fun. I say pretty fun just because it's a little bit basic at the point where I'm at. This pretty fun kind of like action RPG combat, but it has plenty of charm. Like I like the iconography of Dragon Quest games. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's pretty good. I'm still like a little bit on the fence of whether or not it was a good idea to get it on the Vita. I like being able to play it like anywhere in the house, not just, tied to the television, but also like the fact that it relies so heavily on shoulder button stuff. It's just, it feels a little bit like rubbing your tummy and patting your head. Just trying to like manage the height at which you're building stuff. But that's something I could see myself getting used to. Any questions about Dragon Quest Builders?
That really needs to come out on PC or Mac or whatever.
I wonder, because Square Enix has been very good about putting stuff out on PC. I wonder
Isn't
what
it
is
already on Steam?
No, Dragon Quest Heroes is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what it is. That's what I'm thinking.
I have no idea. I don't follow a lot of modern Dragon Quest stuff. Yeah. Well, I mean, I could see it maybe in a year or two, something like that.
Yeah.
The other game that I've been playing, I have broken down and I've decided to play my first, how do I phrase this? Muso game or Warriors game? Has anybody here played like Dynasty Warriors or something like that?
Yeah.
Speaking of Dragon Quest Heroes.
Is that one of that type of game where you're killing a bunch of shit?
It's made by the same people. It's basically that except Dragon Quest.
Huh. So what I'm playing is Berserk and the Band of the Hawk.
Oh yeah.
I understand it's not like people who like that type of game don't particularly care for it. I'm a little bit on the fence about it. Just because I got it because I really like Berserk. And I've said for a while, if a Berserk game comes out that is even passingly good, I'll play it. And I got this, and boy, oh boy, is it kind of a tappa thing, to the point where I kind of just wish that I would auto attack or auto combo on people that I run through.
Get a Mad Catz controller.
Yep. We're plug my Steam controller into my PS4 and put in some kind of macro. But like people know what like Dynasty Warriors is. Like, you're on a battlefield and you're working your way toward kind of taking over the battlefield by killing the lieutenants and also doing these gigantic combos on the rank and file around you. The impressive thing about them is like, hey, I'm a single person. I'm killing an entire army. Hurrah! Kind of thing. Like, are there questions about the basics of it?
No.
Okay. So yeah, this puts that into a Berserk kind of context. And it starts with the Golden Age arc, and I guess it goes up through the Millennium or the Hawk of the Millennium Empire, which is kind of crazy. That's a long stretch of stuff for them to cover. But like it fits, like playing as Guts, you're cutting through just shitloads of dudes and doing these kind of crazy combos. Like I said, I wish the basic combos were just kind of auto done, because the tappa is nowhere near as interesting to me as like, okay, well, I need to manage my movement and kind of create this line in order to get to the next lieutenant. And also, save my other squad mates and do all this kind of stuff. Like there is variance to it, but I think that there is just a problem with I think that is hidden behind the sheer repetitiveness of like square, triangle, square, triangle, square, triangle, charge, attack.
Although I think that's, I mean, that's obviously completely valid. Although I think that is something that has been in pretty much all of the Warriors games.
Oh, true. Yeah, I'm coming to this expecting it to be a different game. Like I'm so much here just for the Berserk content. Sure. And like to the point where I've like started like rereading the series again, because it's been a while since I've done that, and I never got past the conviction arc. I just really like this world and really like these characters, etc. And down the line, it's fun playing as different people. Like Griffith and Casca control entirely differently than Guts does, and it like the way that their combos work makes sense if you know how they are in the comics and stuff like that. I feel like I'm speaking moon language. Sorry.
They can pick up.
No, but you just have like you're playing as famous characters from the series itself, and they have kind of variations and different equipment that you can put in and different advantages. Like, I don't know if I'm in this for the long haul. Like, I got it, and I'm having some measure of fun with it. I could see it getting even more repetitive. And if you're ready to throw your phone out the car window because I said I don't like tappa, like, I get it. Like, I'm just treating it like a brawler. I'm sure it's going to get more interesting as they, as the stakes rise up. I'm still very early on. So all those caveats down the line, but it is fun to play a modern day Berserk game.
Yeah. I would say I'm in the similar camp where I don't, it's not that I don't like that type of game. It's just, I don't understand the appeal of it. So is there anyone on here that's like into those games that can maybe talk about why they like it? Or are we on the outside?
I mean, I'm not a huge fan. I have some like third connection exposure, whatever. I do know that they do get fairly strategic as they go along.
Okay. So it's deeper than what it appears to be.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of there's a lot of like you do have to actually win the battles you're in. So there can definitely be situations where you're killing just thousands of enemies, but you aren't actually defending the specific points that matter, and then you lose.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Things like that.
Yeah, just killing a shitload of people isn't actually moving the needle for you.
Right. Although, like I said, my understanding is that they are very just kind of tappa.
Which like the tappa thing works with like the enemy lieutenants, the ones that are just like a little bit more resilient. Like my problem with fighting the rank and file is I never feel like I'm in any danger, so I don't understand why I have to act.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, the things I've seen with it is that it eventually becomes like just trying to do massive AoEs in order to clear out guys, in order to, it almost becomes like a time management game, except the time is how killing dudes.
Well, what I would love to see is for, and again, all of this has an asterisk by it. Maybe this becomes the case later, but like everything feels so weightless. I would love for there to be something that stopped me from actually running around a group of enemies to get where I need to go, or, just like running through them. Sometimes, like if this was more of like a football tactics game almost, where you had to like, kind of use the AI of your squad and whatever to like find an opening to get where you need to go. And maybe that's how it articulates at like higher levels of play, but I just don't know yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it just keeps being Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Yeah. Which, I mean, again, if there was a license that was going to get me interested in this, it would be Berserk, which is all about that. But
although I do have to say, how awesome would football game gameplay applied to like a medieval strategy game be?
It'd be great. I mean, that's a little bit of what Total War is like, where you're setting up.
Is it really?
Yeah. Like your tactics screen almost looks like John Madden's drawing over it. Yeah. I mean, you're setting up flanks and you're trying to pierce lines and stuff like that. Like it's very much. Yeah.
See, when you say that, I just imagine like John Madden as like a pseudo like great leader from Civilization.
Now what you got here is a classic Fabian strategy. He's gonna retreat to the back lines and he's gonna bring them in unfamiliar territory. And then look here, we got this X. They're gonna get tired right about here, and they're gonna slam down like a hammer on an anvil. Yeah,
sounds close to Sugarbone.
Whoa! There you go. You're welcome, Jala.
Yay!
Jala, do you have any experience with these games?
Nope.
All right.
Checked off my list.
Yeah, so this is broken down into like nice little missions, and they're like little Fire Emblem-esque dialogue things you can do in between them. I imagine it's going to be a game I'm just going to play in short bursts for a while until I get tired of it, or until I get through the golden age. Yeah. Oh, and also like in between, like instead of cutscenes, they just have scenes from the 2012 to 2013 Berserk anime movies, which is good. I like those. Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, read Berserk; it's really good. Cool. Well, that's everything. That's all that I have. Is there any opposition to buttoning it up?
No, because every time you say a thing, it just seems like tonight there's just this dead silence.
I'm so sorry. Just sometimes you don't feel it, but you have to show up. You have to show up.
Kole sternly yelled at us before the podcast, so we're all ready to respond now.
Yeah, I really took everybody to task. It probably would have been better to wait until after, but it's a power move. Okay, so I'll ask again: Is anybody opposed? Is anybody opposed to buttoning it up? So thank you everybody for listening. We are so happy that you're here, especially on this last episode before level 187, where one of us is going to be sent to jail for terrible crimes. But we're here anyway on this eve of the breaking of the quartet. But things you can do: go to Duckfeed.tv/store, check out the Diggity Duck bundle. I would like to thank Jala and Dennis in absentia for participating in that the Machinarium episode, and everybody else who contributed to episodes on that. I haven't done a total for what we've brought in, but like it is really high, so trust me on that. Check social media. That's going to be available in perpetuity throughout the universe, benefiting the National Domestic Abuse Hotline, CARE, and the ACLU. Just charities that we think, hey, could use some help. As for this show, tell your friends and tune in next week. The best thing you can do is help spread the word, because we do not spread the word ourselves. No advertising or anything like that. And if you're feeling saucy, check out patreon.com/DuckFeed.tv. Is there anything that I'm missing?
Have a good week.
Yeah. And that's the most important thing.
I was going to leave it with this silence again.
Any of you can rescue me at any time.
It is fun to watch you flail, though. I'm sure.
Would you categorize what I do as flailing?
No, you're good.
You're good.
Yeah.
So I've been Cole Ross at Cole Ross on Twitter.
I've been David Moneysmith at HariMao777 on GitHub.
Okay.
I'm Jala-chan in places.
I'm Ben Merkel at Merkelizer on Twitter.
And stick around for some titles. Does anybody have anything? Because I didn't write down shit.
I have a few.
Okay.
Sack lunch what?
Okay.
Blaster journeyman? Send a dingus?
Okay.
And taking shots at literally nobody.
I like taking shots in the blaster journey, man.
Are you fine if I leave literally out instead of just taking shots at and just leave it taking shots at nobody?
You said it. It's fine if you're fine with it.
I'm fine.
Is that to not do it double literally?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I had two more.
Go for it.
Oh, okay, sorry. I had Kole torture machine.
Okay.
And I had Tappa Tappa Tappa.
Okay.
My favorite is Send a Dingus. So
I had Send a Dingus, and I had taking shots at literally nobody as well.
Okay. Send a Dingus got some laughs.
Yeah.
David, do you have anything?
No.
Do you have any opposition to Send a Dingus?
I do not.
I don't know if this will
Dingus ate my babies.
Well, the thing is it's the one that will like leave people with a question mark, like what?
I also had send a dingus with an exclamation point. I don't know if that affects anyone's decision about anything.
I'd prefer not to stylize within a show with an exclamation point. So,
Right.
or like for at the episode level.
What about interrobang?
That is fine, actually.
Fact, never send a dingus to do a man's work.
All right, Send a Dingus it is. Cool.
Yay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to bed.
Night.
Yeah, cool. Have an excellent week, everybody. Also,
Wink.
an excellent wink. Yeah.
I love it. Go sleep now.
All right,
Have
take
a good
care,
week, guys.
Bye.
Bye.